Hello and welcome to Ready Bet Action. We are excited to come to you today with some picks for this weekend, specifically around some soccer, and we also have college football picks for Saturday, November 4th. So we
Hang
have a
on real
lot to
quick.
go. Yes, yes,
I
yes.
like that soccer was the headline and you said, and college football picks. It's just
That's because
funny.
we're doing so well. We're doing so well. Although I might start. I'm excited to bring more player props tomorrow. We did go 4-1 on Thursday Night
Absolutely.
Football, which I'm pretty excited about. God, just one more. I saw the guy who didn't catch the pass that would have put us at 5-0 was Connor Hayward, and I literally saw him like the ball hit off his hands and chest in the first half, and like I
No.
can only think of that. That's the problem with player props, man. It's like, dude, just hold on to that one ball and we would have hit, and that's all right. Four and
Yeah,
one, 4-1's a good night. It's a
absolutely.
it's a
That's
great
that's
night.
fire
So
right there. You've been killing it, especially on these standalone nights where the
yep,
action gets moved more by the public. You're able to spot some of
yes,
those inefficiencies and we're able to cash, which
yep,
is lovely. So
yep.
absolutely fantastic job there. So yeah, excited. I hit my Steelers -3, never in doubt. I was at a
Yeah,
very
that's
mediocre
literally.
mid Lauryn Hill concert last night. Really
Oh, that's
disappointed
too bad.
actually.
Dude, you know what's
Yeah.
funny? You know what's interesting? I didn't tell you this before you went to that show, and this is now a Lauren Hill podcast. If people didn't know,
Let the haters
which is,
hate.
dude, I have seen. No, I have seen. I didn't want to tell you before you went. Is like on TikTok, many people talking about how bad that show has been over the last few weeks. The people who've gone
Wow.
and like they'll film themselves being like, "This isn't great."
The amount of people that were just
So
kind of
there
leaving.
you go.
And dude, I tried to stick around until the Fugees came and it was too tough. Anyway, let's move on. We've
That's all
got
right.
some soccer
I think
to
no,
talk
I think we
about.
should keep talking about 90s R&B. All right, no, let's do
Yeah.
it. We got a lot of soccer. Why don't you kick us off with your soccer picks for this weekend?
Yeah, man, I'm going to talk a little bit slower because I've heard I talk way too fast when I go through soccer. So
It's fair.
my favorite play is on my favorite team in the Bundesliga this year because they lead the league. They lead all of Europe, in fact, Eric, in shots and shots on target. And that's Red Bull Leipzig, where my boy Xavi Simons plays. He is like my favorite player in all of soccer. I was watching their game last week when they won like 6-0. And they just couldn't stop talking about how great he is. They have a striker named Openda who is absolutely fantastic. He's at plus 100 for an anytime goal. Yes, do it. Enjoy that money. But what I'm going to tell you to do is take Red Bull Leipzig on the money line and over 1.5 goals. They're going against the 18th team in the Bundesliga, a
Yep.
very bad team. They are going to do well. In fact, I want you to put whatever your mortgage is, put that on this game because this is going to hit.
Maybe like one mortgage payment, not like the entire mortgage, you
Right,
know.
right. We want to be responsible. We want to be responsible. So
uh,
yeah, that's my favorite play of the week. Now we're going to go to some of my parlay specials. We're going to take Sevilla to draw or win against Celta Vigo. Sevilla just draws every single game, but they've been underperforming. I think they're about to flip the switch here. I think they're going to start winning some games, but we're just going to take them to draw again, which they've already been doing. I think they can reach another level, and this Celta Vigo team is bad. We're going to parlay that with Barcelona to also not lose. So we're going to take them on the double chance to win or draw against Real Sociedad, who, by the way, is just as banged up as Barcelona is. Barcelona has this guy, Yamal, who my kids can't stop talking about. He's 16 years old. He actually just scored on his debut for the Spanish national team. So it's
Love it.
nuts. So yeah, so Barcelona we smash these together, we get minus 102. So I like that one a lot. That feels very safe. My dog is howling right next to me. It's
Oh,
fantastic.
I just barely heard it, but I think
Yeah.
that's a good point to clarify as you're making these bets, as you're saying plus. People see plus 0.5 on the screen. You know, we're essentially just like, don't lose. Like,
Right.
do not lose the game because you do have three options in soccer, which drives some Americans nuts for some reason. But
It's
yeah,
how we're
I
making
think
money though. That's why we're making money.
it's how we're making money, and it's like Barcelona, I believe you say, to
Yes.
not lose is key here as we go through kind of the rest of these. But go ahead.
Yeah, these next two teams that we're going to talk about, we also want them to just not lose. So win or draw. And the first one we're going to talk about is Wolves. They play Sheffield United, who is in like very last place in the Premier League. I don't think they've won a game yet, Eric. They have not won a game. I don't think against Wolves, who's a pretty decent team. I don't think that's going to change this week. Their best player for Wolves got injured last week, and I think that's why the line is where it is. Crystal Palace is also a team that's been one we've been betting against because they're injured, but they're playing against Burnley, whose only win is against Luton Town, who is a very bad team, who's also in the bottom three. So we just need Burnley and Sheffield United to be who they are, and these easily cash. We smash these together and get minus 136. Finally, we're going to take just 2 games to win in Serie A. I've been grouping these by region, by league.
Perfect.
So we're going to head over to Italy, and we want the defending champions, Napoli, on the money line against a team that none of us have ever heard of, Salernitana. And then we want our boys AC Milan over Udinese. AC Milan is like Team USA. They have Christian Pulisic. Yes. They have Yunus Musa. They also have a guy I love by the name of Reinders, who's from the Netherlands. So we love AC Milan. They've had a tough stretch because they've played the likes of Juventus and Roma, Inter Milan. But now they're playing teams that are in the lower parts of the table, and they're going to win. So we're going to get this at minus 111.
I love a good Udinese with like some marinara on it, like in a nice red myself.
You're a racist.
I don't know. Well, we're not going to talk about if you can be racist against Italians.
There's another team. All right, there's another team called Lecce. So you have Lecce and Udinese.
Lecce and Udinese. Oh man, I could really get us in trouble here. So I'm going to move this on.
We're just Lauryn Hill and Italian cuisine. Here we go.
Lauryn Hill fans, like that's how we're going to get famous. Is Lauryn Hill fans coming after?
They're going to come for us.
Yeah, it'll be them and Italians. I'm going to move us on to some college football.
The main event.
Okay, slate tomorrow. I'm going to the CU game with my kids. It's going to be a good time. I do not have a CU pick this week, but I will start with more of a main game as far as like has bigger odds to it as far as the results go. And I'm going to go with Missouri and Georgia. We're going to take the over 55.5. Georgia has surprisingly been a bit of an over team this year. And I think that's different to what people tend to think of Georgia as, which is like lockdown defense, which they still have an amazing defense, but their offense has been putting up significant numbers. Missouri is an offensive team, and they have you're gonna have to help me with the name of their number one receiver, Stefan. I'm just know he
Missouri
is
Luther Burden.
Thank you. Yeah, he is fantastic and good for a touchdown, maybe two.
He was the number 2 wide receiver in that class.
Yeah. So they have weapons, and they score a lot as well. I realize that's a tall task against Georgia, but to me, 55.5 is just not high enough. If we can assume Missouri can get to like 17 points, I think this is a very easy win here for us. So that's what I'm going with. Stefan, you want to? Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I had put that play in too. Like we were talking about it. I was like, oh yeah, I'm on that as well for all the same reasons. And I think Eli Drinkwitz, the coach for Missouri, he can scheme up. Yeah, like you said, he can scheme up a couple of touchdown drives, even against a tough Georgia. And dude, Carson Beck is quietly putting together a Heisman campaign. I'm not saying he's going to win the Heisman, but he's going to be in New York City. You know what I'm saying?
Interesting. I love that. So, I wonder what the what's the juice on Beck for the Heisman right now.
Well, I don't want him. I wish you could bet just them getting to the ceremony, which you can't.
Yes.
At least I can't find it. I don't think he can win it, but I think he'll be there. You know, I think it's going to be. Yeah. Anyway, we'll do a Heisman show later.
I love that. But why don't you?
Yeah. So speaking of Heisman, let's go to Alabama and Perfect. LSU, who LSU on the road. The Heisman candidate I'm referring to is Jaden Daniels. If Jaden Daniels wins this game, he's in the conversation. He's the front runner. And Jaden Daniels, Eric and I were sitting on the couch a couple of years ago while Jaden Daniels was dropping dimes as an Arizona State quarterback. And he's like, I don't believe it. I don't buy it. He's too little.
I'm pretty sure that's not how that happened.
Jaden Daniels about to win the Heisman if he can go to Tuscaloosa and I said that was so weird and get a win, but he won't. Alabama -3 all the way. Nick Saban is going to do what he does. This defense is nasty. LSU's defense is not. I think this game will also shoot out a little bit, but really, I think Alabama just takes care of business. I think they move the ball enough on the ground, and then LSU's defense is just so weak right now with injuries and whatnot. Alabama, while they haven't been super explosive, we know Jalen Milroe struggles throwing that intermediate pass, but he can be deadly on that deep ball. So I think they lure him with the run, beat him with the pass. Alabama -3.
Alabama's, I don't know if people realize they only have a one loss. I feel like we've kind of written Alabama off as like this like 2 or 3 loss team while they've quietly just been getting better throughout the year. And so they're still fighting for it, and they're going to want to beat a team like LSU by more than 3 points if they can, and that's obviously possible in Tuscaloosa. I almost said Tuscaloosa as well. But I will move us over to the Mountain West.
The over 61 is tempting, though. I'm just gonna say, let's keep going.
It really is. I'm gonna stick in the Mountain West in our service academies, our weekly patriotic pick of service academies. I think Air Force, Army's been shut out a couple times, and Air Force might be the best defense that they've seen to date. So I think Air Force probably wins this game like 17 or like 20-3 kind of a range. And I think 10 of those points can come in the first half pretty easily for them. So give me Air Force -9.5 versus Army at -125. Just in that first half, though, just to be clear, the full line on this game is 17.5, which I think is a big number when the total has only been set at 31.
And I think it's dropped. It's dropped to 29.5, I think.
Oh, has it? Oh my gosh. I thought the Iowa Northwestern game was like the lowest of all time, but that's come up from 29.5 to 31. So maybe this one's dropped now.
Anyway, great. Or maybe
absolutely insane.
I'm probably the one confused.
Insanely low numbers, but give me Air Force putting up like honestly could just be 10-0 pretty easily at halftime. So give me that. And Stefan, why don't you take us over to your Coastal Carolina pick?
Well, we mentioned this before. I kind of like to fade the public when we see a quarterback injury. Grayson McCall, who we all know for Coastal Carolina, is out. People are nervous. Mm-hmm. The line has reacted. I think it's reacted too much. Old Dominion, talking about Old Dominion here. Yes, they're at home, but I like Coastal Carolina on the money line at -102. The line set up +1. I don't want to do that. Let's just go money line for Coastal Carolina.
Yeah, this isn't the NCAA tournament. I'm not picking Old Dominion in football for any reason, like whatsoever. Like get out of here.
And they're coming off a pretty brutal loss to undefeated James Madison. Yes. So I think Old Dominion. I mean, this is a tough game to get up for against a really, really tough Coastal team. So
absolutely. Well, everyone, thank you so much for listening today. Don't forget to follow us on TikTok, Instagram, X.
You have one more pick.
I have one more pick.
Yeah,
get out of here. Well, still don't forget to follow us in all those places. That's what I meant before we go to the summary. It's because my last pick is so electrifying. I wanted to save it for everyone for this, which is a great Mountain West showdown between UNLV and University of New Mexico.
You're not going to want to miss it.
You're not going to want to miss this one. Look, y'all, I live in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Maybe I'm a little biased. But New Mexico is absolute garbage. They lost by 10 to Nevada. They lost by 28 to San Jose State. They lost by 10 to New Mexico State. Look, these are teams that are much worse than UNLV. UNLV is having a nice little season. And
Ricky White is a great wide receiver as well. He's a Michigan State transfer, and he's fun.
Yes, and like there is no home field advantage in Albuquerque. This is an empty stadium. Trust me, I go a couple times a year. So UNLV will put it together, and this is definitely one of the better seasons they've had in a while. So give me UNLV to win by more than 10. So
you know what? I love the fact that we are an Italian pasta talking Lauryn Hill and Air Force loving, New Mexico fading podcast. It's just good stuff.
America, man. Is there a better place?
That's just what Probably. We do.
It is what we do. All right. This is the part of the show where we run down our picks. Stefan, you're going to kick us off with soccer. And why don't you take us all the way into your college football picks?
Yeah, so we're going to start with a same game parlay. Red Bull Leipzig to win and to score over 1.5 goals at minus 135. Then we're going to parlay Sevilla and Barcelona both to win or draw. So they just cannot lose. We're going to do the same with Wolves and Crystal Palace in the Premier League. And then we're going to take Napoli and AC Milan both on the money line. So both teams to win in Serie A. My college football pick that I'm going to go with first here is Alabama -3 hosting LSU.
Oh, and then you wrap us up with Coastal.
Okay, we're going to go Coastal.
Oh, yeah, we're not going to go every other one. And this time, this is how smooth
Coastal on the money line at Old Dominion.
Perfect. Let me give you a few of my college football picks for the weekend. I got Missouri and Georgia over 55.5. Give me UNLV -10 versus University of New Mexico. And then I'll take Air Force in the first half -9.5 versus Army at -125. But I really encourage you, go listen to the whole episode. If you're watching this on short form, we have a lot of fun. We give a lot more explanation for our picks, all of those things. But besides that, let's go make some money tomorrow.
Yeah, let's have some fun. Let's do it.